Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch The Legend of Korra Season 1, Episode 10. Normally, today I'm gonna watch the 3 last episodes of this Season 1, the episodes 10, 11 and 12. You're not gonna have them on the same day, but me, I'm gonna watch them on the same day. Don't ask me when these episodes are gonna be out for you. Go check my schedule that I'm posting each Monday on YouTube, Patreon and Twitter, and you will know. I'm gonna have trouble to concentrate today. That's not a good sign. I still have my splint, as you can see, normally for 2 weeks. I said normally because you know it. I think that I already told you about that during the last videos for The Legend of Korra. That they added, 1 more week of splint. Maybe they're gonna add more. Normally, no. If no, I'm gonna have it still for 1 week. So normally just 2 weeks. So normally for you until maybe the episodes 2 or 3 of the season 2. It's fun, in a way. I began to edit the videos with the splint and I'm moving with it. But to take the picture for the video, the picture that you are seeing for the video, to call you to click on the video, it's really fun to see me, with the faces and dancing on it like, what is happening to that girl? We don't know. Yes, you know! I already told you. I need to focus more. It's the end of the season 1. You told me on the comments that at first they planned to write only 1 season for The Legend of Korra and then they wrote the other ones. So normally, I'm gonna have a closure at the end of this season 1, maybe a little thing at the end to maybe prepare a future for the characters. But they're gonna close a lot of things. So, for potential final episodes of a season, of a story, I can cry, maybe they're gonna make sad things, sad moments, crazy moments, tension moments, and also I need to be more focused. It's not great that I'm beginning to watch the show being so... and there is no particular reason for that. I don't think so. I'm getting used to that thing. It's annoying that it's longer than planned, but I'm getting used to that also. It's raining. I'm not complaining because I prefer when it's cold than when it's hot, even in summer, really. I have an issue with water. I mean, the person who is living on the apartment above mine, she has issues. So it seems that it's coming from my apartment, but me, I have nothing. So I'm dealing, with the company, who is dealing with my apartment, with also the one who are assuring, I don't know how to say it in English, my apartment, but also the owner of the apartment, assurance and all. Everyone is talking, everyone is dealing, so I'm not complaining because I don't have anything bad on my apartment. It's just taking me a lot of time and I'm just a little mad, for the girl who is living above my apartment. I'm not mad at her, but I'm mad for her because all of these persons who are talking about this case, they are taking a lot of time, and during all of this time, that poor girl, she has water on her apartment. That's not fun at all, and I'm mad for her, I'm trying my best to help her and to call all of the persons that I can and all, because it seems that it's coming from my apartment, so her, she can't do anything, with her apartment. It's me, it's not me, but it's concerning my apartment, so it needs to be done from my apartment, so it's my agency, my assurance, the owner of my apartment, the assurance of that owner who needs to do stuff and they are not doing stuff. So me, I can't do anything else but telling to people, do something, do something, do something, do something. That poor girl, she has water on her apartment, do something, do something. It's taking me time, but I can't complain, you know, about it, because again, in my apartment I don't have any issue. But it's, you know, staying on my mind, so it's, for that it's wrong. And it took me a lot of time yesterday, 4 hours, all of that really, to call all of these persons. Because of that I didn't work, so I worked after that, and I finished to work at 2 AM because of that, because it needed to be done on that day and to not wait. So, maybe it's because of that I'm not so focused today. Maybe because I'm a little tired and I have that, you know, on my mind just right now. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't talk about The Legend of Korra. Do I really need to talk with you about my reactions for the last episode, the episode 9, with all of these flashbacks? I cried, I made 4 breaks. When I saw that during the editing, I was really like, what the fuck? I made 4 breaks, like really 4 fucking breaks. I thought about it, you know, why I cried so much and all, and I think that it's because of the fact that at the end of Avatar The Last Airbender, I really said goodbye to these characters. For real, really, in my heart, I said goodbye to them. I was sure that I was not gonna see them again. I knew that I was gonna watch The Legend of Korra, but for me, The Legend of Korra, it was really the story of a new Avatar with new characters, with a new story. For me, it wouldn't be related to our guys from Avatar The Last Airbender. So that's why, really, in my heart, at the end of the show, I said goodbye to these characters. That's it. I was not gonna see you again, guys. Maybe I was gonna hear stuff that you did and all, but not to see you like that. So that's why during the first episode of The Legend of Korra, I was already shocked that we had Tenzin, that we had Katara, that we had stuff about what happened to our guys. After that, the mini flashbacks, I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna stay like that and you're just gonna discover the truth, you know, by talking with people. And in fact, the flashback episode with Toph and Sokka, I think that it was Sokka who really broke my heart during the last episode, to see him old, to see him with these responsibilities, after that to see him hurt. I totally switched, you know, into my mind. I was not there anymore. I was on the show, I was too involved into it, you know, I couldn't take a step back. It was not possible for me. Sokka really pushed me into it, like boom. I can't describe it in another way. Normally, we saw everything that we needed to see during these flashbacks. That's it. I warned Korra about Tarlok and the fact that Tarlok is Yakone's son. Yakon's son. I don't know why I always said Yakone. It's Yakon. Yakon's son. Tarlok is without his bending now, thanks to Amon, and Korra, she managed to escape. That's great, you know, we finished that little story, that scene that began during the episode 8 with the episode 9. We had all of the flashbacks. So normally now we are gonna deal more with Amon and with the situation with the city and all. With maybe Tarlok, what we're gonna do with the guy now. Okay, he's a non-bender now, but he's still into the council and all, so we're gonna make a trial for him. Maybe we have to do something with him right now. And that law that they voted, the council, are they gonna continue with that now? Because really, Tarlok, you played so much on Amon's side, making that law. But Amon didn't like that you used him to justify the fact that Korra was missing, so I'm still wondering why we saw some of these flashbacks during the moments with Amon. I thought, you know, at the end of the last episode that the writers only played well with us by making these flashbacks when Amon was around when in fact it was not related to Amon. But now, you know, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, these writers, they are so clever and all. I can't think that it was just to play with the viewers. You know, maybe I didn't give up on the theory that Amon is related to Yakon. It can be, you know, an hidden son or something like that. It doesn't have to be like that, you know, erasing that theory just because of the fact that we discovered that Tarlok was Yakon's son. And also the fact that Aang used that technique to take Yakon bending away on the street made me wonder, maybe it's how Amon learned to do that. Maybe he saw Aang when Aang did that. I don't believe that the spirits told to Amon how to do that, you know. I don't think so. Amon managed to not be impacted. I mean, he was impacted, but to continue to move and all, even if Tarlok was using bloodbending on him. During the episode, I said it's because of the fact that you are a bender, maybe you are a waterbender. I'm not sure of that. The waterbender thing. The bender thing, I still think that he's a bender. Because I am seeing him as someone a little hypocrite, as someone who is lying about why he wants that war between benders and non-benders. For me, I said it a lot, it's one of the steps of his plan, his big plan. But to win that war, it's not the conclusion of his plan, it's really one of the steps. If he's lying about his plan, his objective and all, maybe he's also lying about who he is, a bender or non-bender, the fact that we can't see his face. Maybe it's because of the fact that these people, you know, they could understand who he is just like that. I don't know. Can he be Yakon, in fact? He would be so old. He would be as old as Katara or even older if it would be Yakon. I should have had that theory during the editing. I would have listened more, you know, to the voice of Amon and the voice of Tarlok, to compare them. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro because I think that it's already too long, and let's go for the Legend of Korra. Like usually, you have my reaction videos about it earlier on Patreon, 2 weeks sooner, and with an extended or a full reaction part. For the episode 9, for example, it was the full reaction part. And the full reaction part, you know, of the breaks and all. That was fun. Let's go for this episode 10. 10. I don't know. It really means that I'm gonna have trouble to focus today. Oh no. MacBook. It's not even hot. You don't have the excuse of the hot temperature for not working well. I don't know if I told you on these videos about the Legend of Korra, the fact that since weeks now my computer is really like showing how old it is. 2012. I need to change it. I know it's, you know, sometimes when I'm exporting videos, it's crashing because it's too much for it. I need to change it. To be totally honest, I put, you know, the money from Patreon somewhere. I'm not touching it and all to wait to have enough to buy a new computer. It's slow a lot for some things, like right now just to open a file. And sometimes it's crashing down without any reason. I love you, but really you're getting too old. But you did a good job during all of these years. Thank you for that. Don't take that as a goodbye. I still need you for some weeks. Oh fuck, that's really gonna be one of these days. For him and for me. Korra, you're cute. I love you, I ship you, but you're treating Asami so bad.
Let me help.
Pema, you're gonna have your baby soon, no?
Tarlok isn't who he says he is. He's Yukon's son. I'm gonna step out in case you two want to talk.
talk about?
Yes.
You have feelings for her, don't you?
What? No.
Don't
She's
lie.
taken by a crazy bloodbender.
But you've been keeping the truth from me this whole time.
The truth?
You kissed
Make
her.
it
Yes, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Mako!
Yes, Mako. I know.
Bolin told you, didn't he?
Don't
You're not gonna blame your brother, yes?
feelings for Cora or not.
Can we deal with our relationship problems later?
Well, there might not be any relationship to worry about later.
You're treating her so bad. I ship you guys, but I'm on Asami's side.
But I know it could be a potentially awkward situation. Furthermore,
Spit it out already.
Nah.
you stay here and watch over Pema and the children.
Of course I'll help. Old friend. I could use the extra pair of hands.
Nah.
Matthew's filthy.
Lynn taking care of kids?
This is not what I signed on for!
Yes.
I got a poo. Really bad.
Council session will probably go late into the night.
Amanda was a conceit.
We're here to fix the spider rat problem.
I didn't call an exterminator.
Amon, it's Amon. You're gonna attack all of the persons in the council? Tenzin, careful. Good. I appreciate you a lot, what you did during the last episode. Thank you for that again.
They've all been captured.
Oh,
The leadership of Republic City is in your hands now.
you can do it, Tenzin. He's attacking! You're attacking the city? You don't even know where your girl is?
Chief Psycho, Tenzin, am I glad to see you? I was afraid you'd been captured too. I'm the
You're
only
sincere,
person left.
right? You know he was working for Tadok. You need the help
You sent a
from
wire. To whom?
countries, you know.
The General of the United Forces.
Who?
Your wire has been sent.
Chief, the phone lines just went dead.
Is it safe, the place? Okay, it's not. Tenzin, air! Air! That's what I meant.
Not these mecha tanks again.
Give up. You can't do that for all of them, for all of the soldiers. I'm beginning to be desperate.
Psychon, no.
Tenzin. They need you, Tenzin. No, I'm not gonna cry. Come on, Asami, you're the best. Mako. Asami, you're a fucking badass. No! Not Pepper and the kids, not Lynn. Tenzin, Cora. All of you have Oogie, yip yip.
Everyone, hide inside and remain calm.
You're not gonna have your baby, no!
The baby's coming!
Oh no. Not now, baby.
I'm trying my best to not cry. Guys, where are you? Lynn. You and Bolin, and Milo and Pabu, my favorite. Lynn. Only you against all of them.
Stay away from my dad's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, kids! That's it, you're gonna make me cry.
Our island.
Milo is gonna come.
Chase not here.
Nice work, kids.
Yes, they saved you. You took your time. Appa was faster than you, Oogie.
I would have been toast if it weren't for your kids.
Ah, you've got me, kids. So hard, so much.
Come on, be with your wife.
So cute. Be careful with the name. I just cried a lot.
We already chose a name.
Roma,
Tenzin.
You and your family are the last airbenders. There's no way in the world I'm letting Amon take your bending away.
Thank you, but I want you to leave this.
You thought of that? I didn't.
And once my family is safe, I will return. With the reinforcements, we can turn the tide in this war.
What you're saying is,
Tenzin, his family.
Stay safe, Connor.
you too.
It's not goodbyes. Be faster, Oogie. You're not gonna follow them. No, 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 no. If you're attacking this family, I'm gonna...
Everyone, come on! Let's go, bro.
Come on, Naga. Ah! Naga! Oh, so good, so good, so good. You, now that Lin said that, I'm terrified for... Lin!
Whatever happens to me, don't turn back.
Whatever, what? Nothing is gonna happen to you. Understand me loud and clear. The music. Oh, Lin! You're amazing! She has been captured, she has been captured, she's not dead. Oh, if they are taking her bending away, I'm gonna...
That lady is my hero.
Yes, she is.
Mine too.
Tell me where the Avatar is, and I'll let you keep your bending.
I won't tell you anything, you monster.
Oh, no! 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 I can't...
General, I just received a wire from the Avatar.
Tell her we will be arriving in 3 days' time, and that I look forward to coming back to Public City together.
As you wish, General Iroh.
Not fair at all! Not... I was not even looking. I was thinking about making a break because of what was happening to...
Amon and his forces have gained control of the city.
Okay, I didn't miss anything. I had to stop the recording, so it paralyzed me, or almost like my two neurons are trying to connect. Amon just took Lin bending away. Toph's daughter. She was the best metal bender. She was a fucking badass, a fucking hero. She is one of my favorite characters. He took her bending away. She's not dead, she's still alive. She knows how to fight, she's gonna fight, she's gonna... I'm not sure that, she's the kind of woman who is gonna disappear like that just because someone took her bending away. No, she's gonna continue to fight, and then with more rage. But she was such a good metal bender, and it's Toph's daughter, and it's Lin just for herself, for her character. She's so good. I was so shocked by that. I was crying so much that I was thinking, when I was crying, I was like, you have to make a break. You can't continue to watch the episode, you have to make a break. When I thought of that, I began, to put my hands like that. So at that moment, I saw that guy, with the yellow and red colors, for his costume and all. And his voice, his look, I was like, you're gonna be someone from the Fire Nation, you seem young. Someone related to Zuko. General Iroh. Who named you like that? In honor of who? I know. In honor of Iroh. Are you Zuko's son? Are you Zuko's grandkid? Are you... No matter what, you were named in honor of the best person in this world. General Iroh. And you're a general. See, I'm like that, I'm like, that's so sweet, that's so nice. To honor Iroh like that. And you're a general, so you're into the army. I mean, naming one of the kid or the grandkid as Iroh, I was expecting it a little, but he's named like that, he's into the army, he's general like Iroh was. And right there is gonna be the one who's gonna come to help them. You are the one who is responsible of these forces, you know, the United Forces. It was episode 10. 2 more episodes. I said in intro that I thought that, you know, the end of the season 1, and also some of you told me that at first they planned only 1 season, so it's also the end of one story like that, it's a closure. So I knew that I was gonna have tension moments and sad moments and stuff like that, that maybe my emotions were gonna be high and all. But for the episode 12, not the episode 10, it's only the season 1. But you know, because of the fact that it's related to our old guys, like when it happened to Lin, I was shocked that it was happening to Lin because of her character that I love already so much, and because I was thinking of Toph. And right there when I cried at the end, it was because of the fact that I thought of Iroh, Zuko, what it means. Amon attacked Republic City, helped by Sato. They took Republic City just right there. Okay, maybe you're gonna fight with the United Forces and all to take it back, but they managed to take it by kidnapping all of the council, except for Tenzin, by dropping bombs on the city. I mean, you want to create a war between benders and non-benders, but right there you attacked and you killed with these bombs also benders, not only non-benders. You killed innocent people by doing that. I mean, even if, you know, they are thinking like all of the benders are bad people, they want to commit a genocide, you know, with benders, or if not a genocide by killing them, a genocide by taking all of their bending away, so making them non-benders. So I don't want to use genocide for explaining that, but I think that you can understand what I mean by that. It's not the good word. I know that it's not the good word. I don't want to shock people by using it, but I don't know how to explain that in another way. By making them something that they are not, you know, by changing all of their life, by taking away something which is a part of them, you know, their bending. We know that since Avatar The Last Airbender and all, the bending, it's one thing which is a part of them. They're not dead after you took their bending away, but they are not fully themselves. For me, you know, it's almost like in His Dark Materials with the demon. When you are separated from your demon, do you understand what I mean? That feeling like someone took a part of you and you're not full, you know, you're not yourself entirely. Something is broken into you. I'm feeling it like that, you know. The fact that they took bending away from people, So that's why genocide, it's not the good word, but I can't find another word, because in a way you're killing what these people are. You're not killing them, but what they are. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know how to explain it in another way. So yes, I was just saying that by dropping these bombs like that, making all of that to take Republic City, I know what you want. I know why you want Republic City. I know that it's important to take a city like that, which is symbolizing so much and all. For your war, you have to take it. But how you're doing it and all, now you can't say that it's a war between benders and non-benders. You can say that it's a war between equalists and persons who are not equalists. But how are you gonna explain to the non-benders that you killed during this attack that it was justified, you know? That it was a war between benders and non-benders? No! You killed some non-benders right there. I think that, you know, for convincing non-benders to join you, it was not a good move to attack like that. Sato, who is seeing... No, first, who is not thinking about Asami, where she is into the city, and that maybe he just killed her by dropping these bombs. And after that, who is disappointed that she is fighting on the other side. Father of the Year, really. How Mako is treating Asami, it's so bad. It hurts me in a way because I know in my heart, I know myself and all, I know that I ship Mako and Korra. But how they are acting, their attitude, and how Mako is treating Asami, how he is lying to her, how he is treating her like, oh come on, you're not gonna make a scene right now, you know, like, oh, you're crazy, and all that kind of way that some men can use to talk to women when they don't want to explain themselves, when they want to avoid a conflict because they know that they are wrong and they know that they are disrespectful and all. It's just creating something even more disrespectful, because you're not considering her feelings, you're not considering her at all, you're treating her bad, you are calling her crazy for thinking that you are treating her bad when it's the case. It's awful, I hate that, I'm disappointed that you are treating Asami like that. I'm also worried because if right now her father is telling her, come and join us, I wouldn't blame her to go with her father. You know, we know her story with her mother, with what happened to her mother. We know also that when they said, you know, they accused her father of betraying them and all, you know, during that moment she wanted to defend her father and all. She saw a lot of moments with non-benders being accused or being hurt during all of this season 1, so for Asami, if you are really into Asami's mind, she doesn't want that war between benders and non-benders because she doesn't want a war at all. So that's why she was against her father. But for her past and for what she saw during the last days, weeks for her, there is a real issue between benders and non-benders. What Amon is saying is right in a way. And for her, you know, for her feelings, she's feeling betrayed by Mako, she's feeling betrayed by this group who was supposed to welcome her, to be there for her, to support her and all, surrounded by people that she loved and were supposed to be there for her. You know, really, if she's going with her father, I wouldn't blame her at all, Asami. It's really bad, the situation. Okay, I'm gonna cut the camera and I'm gonna watch the 2 last episodes today. For you, it's gonna be in another day, for me in just some minutes. I think that I need to prepare myself more for these 2 last episodes. So it's all for you for today and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Crazy.